Okay, y'all, so I wanted to make a video because I tint my eyebrows and I wanted to show people that have eyebrows like mine how to tint them. Unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with really thick brows, but that's okay. I tint my brows probably once every 2 weeks, once a week to once every 2 weeks. So this is the Godefroy Tint Kit, and I've been using this probably for about a month now. I like it, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is. All right, so in the Godefroy kit you have this developer. They give you a nice little brush, little angled brush, and they give you a little bowl, if you want to call it that. And then they give you these little capsules that actually have the dye in it. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is, and then I'm going to apply, and then you'll see the final result. All right, so these capsules right here, you can just break them open. I'm just going to break it and then put it in my little bowl here. So they do pull apart. All right, super simple. The powder is in there. All right, so now I'm gonna add some developer. You want to add about the same amount of developer as the powder. So for me, it's probably about that much. The powder's in the bottom, developer right there. Put that lid back on, put the developer away. Put the lid back on, put the developer away. Now you're good to mix it. I just mix using the end of the brush, not the actual brush part. So when you first mix this, it isn't going to look dark brown. I did get dark brown. It isn't gonna look like that. I usually wait a couple minutes before I directly put it onto my brows because I just prefer to do it that way. You could probably put it on right away. But what you want to do is make sure that all of that, all the grittiness of the powder is dissolved. So it is a creamy consistency. You are not going to use all this. I never use all of it. I try to use a lot of it, but my brows are not that full, so I don't really even have to use all of it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe off the tip of that so that I don't get that dye anywhere else, because it is actual dye. It has stained my bathroom counter. So it's a pretty creamy consistency. You can see I will probably wait a minute or so just to see how that gets darker, and then I'll be ready. All right, so this is my mirror, and one thing you want to do is just brush your brows up, or brush them to the edges. That's what I do. And then I do this just how, if you're used to putting on your brows every day, then you pretty much know how to do your brows. For me, I do it the same exact way. I make sure I don't have too much on the brush, and then I'm just applying to the hair. So it helps if you have already had your brows arched like mine. I got my brows arched. If I didn't, it would be harder to figure out where that line is. I see some people that actually put contour on the outside. It helps them. For me, that personally, I've tried it a couple times. It can help if my brows aren't like waxed, but right now it would just make more mess. So I'm just gonna apply this I'm gonna start on this brow. I may eventually get my brows microbladed, but I'm not at a point where I really want to do that because it's so permanent, and I just haven't decided on if I do that or when I do that, who I really want to have do it. So again, what you're doing with this, you're doing it just how you fill in your brows regularly. You want to start at the corner here because you want that area to be the darkest. You don't necessarily want to put the most dye right there, or it really won't look like it's blending well, like with your natural brows. You want it to be more of a gradual feel. I'm gonna eventually make sure I put a good amount of dye on here because I kind of just like mine to sit. Ideally, I would like mine to stay for like a week, but I do wash my face, and when I wash my face, I do get my brows, and I really don't, I try to, but when I have the dye on, I try not to like scrub my brows. I try to just do more of like a wash the rest of my face, and then the brows just get wet by default in the shower or however else. But I'm one of those people where I do actually like to like wash my whole face. I like to scrub my whole face, so my brows don't even last that long. But they may give me like, depending on this, it may give me like 4 solid days. So for me, I'll do it on the weekend, Friday night. It'll last to the weekend. If I do decide to fill in anything, which I usually don't have to, it'll just be like a little bit of fill in. It won't be a lot of work. So I got that one. I'm gonna add some more to this, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put some on my left brow now. So yeah, I wasn't blessed with thick brows, unfortunately. I wish I was, but I just wasn't. It's hereditary, so I just pray that my kids have thick brows, because it's kind of for the birds. But for us sparser brow ladies, we do have options. And the key to when you do have sparse brows, the key is to get them waxed, because you may not think you have a lot up there, but when you wax it, it adds some definition. So even if it's not that much, it's noticeable and you can tell. So I have the dye on my brows right now. I pretty much like this. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna just take a Q-tip. Q-tip just lines it up better for me. Like this one to me is really good. This one, you know, I might just go around the edges because I just want my dye to be perfect, and I'm just like that type of person with my brows. I like them to be consistently the same as much as possible. So now I'm gonna go back to the other brow. I'm just gonna add some more dye. I have a lot of dye still left in here, considering, if you can see that. So I'm just gonna keep applying some layers. And just to be mindful, I've been doing this for probably about 5 minutes now. So I'll probably leave the dye on for another 10 to 15 minutes. For me, the dye doesn't irritate my brows, so it's kind of like I take it off between 15 to maybe 20 minutes. I don't want to exceed that because I don't really like know the harmful effects of leaving this on for a long term, nor do I want to find that out. Don't want to necessarily rub the dye off and my whole brow comes off. Don't want that. So this is just something that I enjoy doing. Brows are a huge deal. If I could wax my own, I wish I could, but I go to a really great brow lady that gets my shape perfect every time. And all I gotta do, since my brows don't grow back that quickly, in the interim between going back to her again, I just dye my own brows. Maybe once every week or so, once every week or to 2 weeks, just depending on how I'm feeling. Honestly, I'm at the point where I don't really have to apply any more dye. I'm just gonna let that sit on there. But just for the heck of it, because I do still have some more dye, why not? And I'm also listening to YouTube as I record this. So one thing about my brows is I don't have a natural arch. My brows kind of just go like straight, which is really weird. So my brow lady, she actually like naturally just puts an arch in it. I love the way she shapes my brows, because without it, I wouldn't have as much form to that part of my face. I would, but the arch is everything, okay? So I'm probably not gonna add any more to this. I really don't need to. What I'm gonna do right now is just wipe, and this is why it is helpful to have some freshly waxed brows, because the dye just automatically sticks to the hair. It's perfect. So this is how I would normally have my brow anyways. So the dye is just sitting on there. It's perfect. The dye is on the hair, which is good. And just want to get the top as well. You can see that. All right, perfect. I'm going to just put a little bit right here because it's kind of dipping down. I don't have any makeup on right now. It's just moisturizer, so I really don't have a reason why this shouldn't stick, this shouldn't stay. And I wouldn't suggest having makeup on while you do this, but some people might, especially while recording a video. Me personally, not too pressed. All right, bet. So I'm just gonna get one more area. This is how I do my brows, so I gotta make sure they're perfect, right? If you mess up, the great thing is that you have your Q-tip, the dye is still wet, you have ample opportunity to fix what you want to fix. Like, it's okay to experiment, it's okay to just try it. So yeah, this is the only brow kit that I've used, the Godefroy. I haven't used the other ones, so if you know of any other ones, just let me know. Maybe there are some out there that just last longer. For me personally, I've only used this one. So again, this one lasts about maybe 4 days for me, but I'm a person that I like to also wash my face, get my brows wet. I'm just that type of person. I like to get all in there. All right, so bet my brows look like how I would have them when I go out. I'm I'm gonna let this sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and I will wipe this off. And then these are my brows for hopefully the next 5 days. I'm just gonna count that. Today's Friday, so hopefully they might last through hopefully Tuesday at least, but Wednesday preferably. All right, so I'm back. It's been about 15 to 20 minutes or so. As you can tell, the dye is darker, which is the goal. So now I'm just gonna wipe off the excess dye. I'm not wiping hard though, because essentially if you wipe hard, you're just gonna wipe all the dye off. For me, I have a rag here, a hot rag. I have a Q-tip here, and really I just kind of want to get my Q-tip wet and just wipe from there. And then really the excess is gonna stay on there. That's really just what is going to make the brow last. That is what works for me. So my Q-tip is kind of moist right now, and I'm not taking off a lot. Like, that's not my goal here. I really don't have a lot of access, and I've taken it off with the rag, which is fine. I might just take it off a little bit, but make sure if you do take it off with the rag that it's a rag that you're okay with having dye on it, because the dye is gonna stay. Now my Q-tip is a little damp from my rag. I'm just gonna do the same with this side. I'm just trying to rub it. Get some of that dye off. This is how I wear my brows, so I love when it's dark. The darker the better. Okay. This is perfect for me. And so with this method, you may want to use the rag if you feel like the dye might be unsafe for your brows, but honestly I don't think the dye is very harmful, because I don't like take the whole amount of dye off. I am just rubbing to get like that top layer off, and then the rest of the dye is literally just sitting in the hair, which is the goal. That is the goal to making this technique last. So I'm gonna get a little bit more, and for me it's helpful to use a new Q-tip whenever you're whenever that other one is, like the previous Q-tip that you've used, whenever that one's dirty, whenever it's full, obviously just get a new one. You don't have to keep going over the same part with the same Q-tip. I mean, I don't think it hurts, but for me, I just like to keep using new ends of the Q-tip. So I still have a little right here, and in this case I might just use my rag, because I just want to get that excess off. Alright, so this is perfect for me. As you can see, my brows are how I would do them regularly. They are dark, they are full. Now all I have to do is just put on foundation, powder, whatever. The brows are good for like 4 days, which is the goal. So try the Godefroy kit. If you have another one that you have used or that you want to try, I've also seen people use those hair dye kits for men, like the gray hair dye kits. For me, I'm not doing that. I don't know what else is in there. I don't know if it's more harmful than what's in here. And this is more so just it's dye, but it's also just it's mild. I don't know how the other one is. So I don't want to take off my brows. So this is the final look, and the goal is for this to last for about 5 days. All right, and that's it. Thank you for tuning in, and I am looking forward to dropping some more stuff.